start in a seated position. Come down to your mats. You can sit cross-legged or shins under your butt. We'll take 5 deep breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Just find yourself in a comfortable seated position, filling up the lungs and exhaling completely. Once we've finished our 5 breaths, we'll come into child's pose. Extend your knees as wide as your mat. Reach your hands out in front of you as far as you can, keeping your biceps behind your ears. Hips to heels. Continue to breathe in through the nose and exhale fully through the nose. Again, we'll do this for 5 breaths, and then we'll move over to the right side, bringing your left hand across the mat to meet the right, stretching your entire left side, all while maintaining that deep inhale and exhale. On your 3rd breath, move both hands over to the left side of your mat. Stretch out your right side as you breathe in deeply and exhale deeply. After 3 breaths, we'll inhale up to a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we will do 5 cat-cow stretches. On the cat, you inhale your head up, arching your spine. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and roll your back out. Make sure to keep your abs engaged while you're breathing deeply in and out. At the end of our 5th breath, we'll walk our hands about a foot forward on our mat. Come into a slight plank and then extend the hips up into a downward dog. And we'll take 5 full breaths here in downward dog. You can walk your dog out here, bend the knees a little bit and push back into the hips. You don't need to straighten your legs or get your heels down to the ground if that's not possible for you today. Instead, make sure you keep those hips up into the air. Relax your neck. Make sure your middle fingers are pointed out directly in front of you, eyes at the elbows facing each other, and breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling. At the end of our 5th breath, we'll step to the front of our mats, inhale all the way up to mountain pose. We'll exhale our hands down, bring them to heart center for Samasthiti, standing in equanimity. On our next inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hands to toes. Take a deep breath here. Inhale halfway up to forward fold, hands on shins. And exhale down into forward fold. Get a good breath in here. And then inhale, bend your knees, come all the way up into mountain pose. Exhale, fold all the way down into forward fold. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down into forward fold. And step slowly back into plank. Now we'll lower down in chaturanga all the way down to the floor, nice and easy. Inhale into cobra, slight arch in the back, eyes look forward. Come back down into downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Jump to the front of our mats. Inhale halfway up and exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way up, mountain pose, and exhale forward fold. Inhale halfway up and exhale into chaturanga. Stepping back, lower down halfway, come all the way up into up dog. Exhale back into downward dog. And jump to the forward start of your mat. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up to mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, stepping back into plank, lower down in chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. On your next exhale, jump or walk to the front of your mat and arrive in a forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down, forward fold, inhaling all the way up into mountain pose. Exhale your hands down, take a deep breath, roll out your shoulders, check your feet alignment. You're going to go into crescent pose. So inhale your arms up overhead and wiggle everything out. You can rotate the hips, forward, backwards, left and right. Just loosen everything up as we get ready for crescent moon. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to your right. Hips go to the left, anchoring down through your left foot. Biceps behind your ears, gaze looking up. Hands are clenched. Try to keep arms as straight as possible. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale all the way up, and exhale to the right, left, hip to the right, hands to the left, gaze is up, biceps behind your ears, pressing down through the right side of your right foot, and then inhale all the way up, slight bend in the knees, exhale, back bend, so gaze goes straight up to the sky. Try to press your body up and over an imaginary bar behind you. Exhale back into a forward fold. And stay down in this position. If you can, take your fingers and grab underneath your heels, elbows behind the calves, squeezing down. If that's not accessible to you today, just take each hand to your elbows. Release the neck and breathe deeply into this position. You can sway back and forth, releasing the hips, whatever is comfortable for you today. Extend the hands overhead, and in one slow movement, come all the way back up into mountain pose. Now we move into our sun salutation B postures. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, chair pose. Knees behind toes, hands straight up to the sky. Sitting down into an invisible chair. Make sure you can wiggle your toes a little bit. And then exhale, forward fold. Stepping back into chaturanga or plank. Exhale down, inhale, upward dog. And exhale into downward dog. You're going to step your right leg forward into warrior two. Inhale up. Arms extended out to the side. Look out over your right hand. Shield your hands down to the mat, back into downward dog. And step your left foot forward into warrior two, inhaling up. Looking left over your hand. Shoulders are square and roll down the back. Waterfall your hands down to your mat, stepping back into downward dog. And slowly walk or jump your way to the top of your mat into forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale into chair pose. Knees are together, gaze is forward, relax your shoulders, inhale all the way up into mountain pose. We're going to take a quick water break here. Get some water, move around, and when you're ready, come back to the top of your mat. And we'll try to reconnect with our breath here, bringing your hands to your heart center. Close the eyes and inhale and exhale through the nose. Rediscover your breathing here that we had at the beginning of the class. Take your time to rest your heart. And we'll begin shortly moving into our vinyasa flow. This is a hip opening vinyasa flow. All these poses are designed to open up the hips. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to plank, into a downward dog. Swing your right leg through to warrior two. Open those hips, swing the arms up, look out over your right arm. Take a few breaths here, check your alignment, make sure your front leg heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Knee not over the toe, but instead directly above the hip. And take a deep breath in, upward warrior or reverse warrior. Your left hand is light on your back leg or tucked behind your back. Gaze to the sky, return to warrior two. And we'll go into extended side angle. Reach as far forward as you can with your right arm. Place your right elbow on your right knee and extend the left hand up overhead or to the front of the room, inhaling and exhaling. You want a straight line from your left leg to your left fingertips. Slowly breathing, inhaling, exhaling back into warrior two. And cartwheel your hands down, stepping back into your vinyasa flow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And on our next inhale, we'll step our right leg forward into warrior two. Exhale, inhale. We will straighten the right leg for triangle on the right side, reaching as far forward as you can, and then 6 and 12 your arms, keeping as much equal space in the side bodies as possible. If you need a brick here, feel free to use a brick. Gaze is up. You can have a slight bend in your front leg if it's too much pressure. Now we're going to place our left hand on our left hip, step forward, place your right hand directly under your shoulder into half moon. When you're ready, raise your left hand to the sky, gaze follows if possible. If you need a brick here, place one down right in front of your shoulder, under your wrist and shoulder, pressing down to that. Supporting leg is bent, acting as a shock absorber. We'll slowly come down into warrior two, planting the back leg softly. And cartwheel our hands down, back into a plank position. And do your vinyasa flow. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to slowly walk our hands to the back of our mat, putting our heels down and slowly walking ourselves back, or toppling tree. Inhale your arms up overhead, exhaling through your chest. Put all the weight on your left leg, stepping forward with your right leg. Inhale your arms overhead, plant on that right leg, and topple over as if you were a tree. Left leg goes straight back, gas pedaling your foot. Arms are above the head, biceps by the shoulders. Hold that here. Inhaling, exhaling for 3 breaths, standing up. Come back to your back of your mat. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. And we'll do the same on the other side. Step your left leg forward, topple over the left leg, raising the right leg back. Try to keep your hips square. Biceps behind your ears, hands overhead, breathing deeply. Gas pedal that back foot. Next exhale, we'll slowly step back, bring your feet together, exhale, and find your way to the front of your mat. Inhaling up into mountain pose, exhale, forward fold, inhale, half fold, exhale, chaturanga, plank, down, inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. Now we are going to swing our left leg through this time and come up into warrior 2. Look out over your left arm. Take a good breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And on your next inhale, we'll do reverse warrior. Bending into that front leg. Take your right arm back, down your leg, or behind your back, left hand to the sky, gaze is up, maintaining the bend in your left leg, inhaling and exhaling, and back to warrior 2, and to extended side angle on the left side. Check your alignment, and on your next inhale, reach forward. Extend your right hand up to the sky, left elbow is on your knee. You can extend your right arm over your head. Make sure you're keeping that bend in your front knee and there's equal weight on both feet. And on our next inhale, warrior 2, cartwheel our hands down to the mat and your vinyasa flow. Or we can meet in downward dog. Once we're in downward dog, we're going to swing that left leg through again into warrior 2. And we are going to straighten our left leg. Come into a triangle pose, reaching as far forward as possible with the left hand. And then reach your right hand up to the sky as you 6 and 12 your arms. You can put your hand on a block, on your shin, on the floor if you're flexible enough, but you want to keep that space between your sides the same, so don't jam into your hips here. Now we'll take our right hand to our right hip, and reach forward into half moon, left hand directly below the left shoulder, right hand goes up to the sky. Your hips in line, stacked over each other if possible. It's good to use a brick here. If you can't quite get your right hip up, a brick will help with that. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll slowly come back down into warrior 2. And we will cartwheel our hands down to the mat, come into a plank for your vinyasa flow. Or again, child's pose is an option here, or downward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. And on your next exhale, we'll jump up to the front of your mat. Inhale all the way up to mountain pose. Exhale, Samasti. And we'll step back to the backs of our mat as far as we can with our right leg, opening our hips. Put your hands out straight to the side, chest in line, and we'll fall forward into a standing straddle. You can place the hands on the back of your ankles, calves, or knees. Try to keep a straight back here, head towards the ground, pulling with your hands. As you inhale and exhale. We'll do this again, so just get a few inhales and exhales, loosen everything up, and we'll come all the way back up, hands overhead, step to the back of your mat, feet together, arms down, exhale. And we'll inhale, arms up, step out to the left-hand side of the mat again, airplane your arms, and with a flat back, come down to the floor, place your hands behind your back, interlacing the fingers, and raise them up to the sky for a good chest stretch here. Inhaling and exhaling. Really get into those shoulders and hamstrings. And exhale. Get a good inhale, look up to the mirror, all the way up to the sky, hands together, step to your left, feet together, hands down by your side. And we'll take a minute here and move into dancer. You're going to bring your feet together, hands down by your side, raise your left hand to the sky, right hand out. Bring up your right leg and capture the inside part of your right foot, thumb towards your toes, palm up overhead, straight line from your left hand to your right knee. And as you're ready, imagine there's an imaginary broom handle across your hips, and you try to fold over that. You reach your left hand forward, kick your right foot back with equal pressure in both. You don't want to open the hips too much here, so keep your hips in line. You can fall out of it, like I just did there. If that happens, just come right back into it. Right hand to right foot, left hand to the sky, and kick back into dancer. Deep breaths here. Slight bend in your standing leg as a shock absorber, and we will exhale and come back out of it. Now for the other side, we're going to raise our right hand to the sky, left hand out to the side, pick up your left foot, and capture the inside arch, thumb towards toes. Make sure your knees are in line here, hands straight up to the sky, palm facing forward, and bend over that imaginary broom handle once again. Kicking back into your left hand with your left foot, and your right hand straight in front of you. Gaze is forward or down. Kicking back into your hand. Really opens up the hip flexors here. Inhaling and exhaling. Slight bend in your right knee is okay as a shock absorber. And come back up. Release your hands down to the mat. Last standing pose will be tree. We'll do it on each side. So get a good inhale here. And exhale. Bend the right knee. You can bring your foot to your left calf, or all the way up to your left thigh. Do not put your foot on your knee. If this is too much, you can just pick up your toe. That's fine as well. Hands to your chest, and then raise your hands up overhead to tree pose. Steady breathing here. Slight bend in the left knee as a shock absorber. Focus your eyes ahead of you. Inhaling and exhaling as your tree naturally sways back and forth while you balance on one leg. As we finish this pose, we'll exhale, bring our knee forward, and hands and knee come down at the same time. Moving to the other side. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale through the center of your chest. Take the weight off of your left leg, open the left knee to the side, bring your foot to your calf, or all the way up to your inner thigh, making sure not to put pressure on the knee joint. Inhale, hands to chest, grow your tree, bringing your hands up over your head. If you fall out of this, just come right back in. It's no big deal. It's hard to balance on one leg, so inhale and exhale. Let's keep our hips in line here, engaging our core. Out of the pose, and bring the left knee forward, hands together, and lower them both at the same time. Well done. We'll now move into our floor series. Put your heads to the top of the mat, feet to the back, lay down into Savasana, and we'll reconnect with our breathing. Feet wide apart, hands away from your body, shoulders rolled down the back. Rock your head from side to side, find a comfortable resting position for your head, and inhale and exhale. Give yourself an A for doing a difficult practice. The first step in yoga is to show up. You guys showed up to do this video, so thank you. Start to wiggle your hands and feet back, waking them up again. Our first pose will be wind removing pose on the right side, so bring your right knee up to your chest and rotate your right ankle, breathing deeply, pulling that knee closer into your armpit, rotate your ankle the other direction. Exhale, raise the right leg straight up into the sky, and exhale all the way down. When your right heel hits, pick up your left leg, bend it into your chest, squeezing it into your chest, and rotate the left ankle. Inhaling and exhaling, change the direction of your ankle rotation the other way. Inhaling and exhaling, pulling the knee back into your armpit. Next exhale, we'll raise the legs straight up into the sky and lower slowly down to meet the mat. Now you'll inhale both legs up to your chest. Wrap your arms around them if you can. And grab onto your wrists or your elbows. Inhale and exhale. Tuck your chin, extending out through the back of your neck to get a little more room in your spine as you try to push your tailbone down to the ground. You can rock a little bit side to side here, but focus on your breath. Now we'll extend both legs to the floor and do a quick sit-up. And turn around, come to the top of your mat for hero pose. For hero pose, we're going to sit down on our heels here. If you need a block, that's fine as well. Otherwise, spread your heels apart, putting your sit bones all the way down to your mat. If that's a comfortable position, you can stay right here. If you have a little more to give the pose, you can lean back. If you have even more to give the pose, you can come down to your elbows, making sure your knees stay down on the mat. And if you have even more to give the pose, come all the way down to your head and shoulders. As long as your knees stay down and are comfortable, you don't want to move into pain. Inhale and exhale here. Coming out of hero pose, you have to go just as slowly as you went down, one hand at a time, up to elbows, back up to your knees. And we'll come up and we'll sit back down onto our heels into half tortoise. Your sit bones are on your heels, knees are together. Inhale your arms up overhead, fingers together, and we'll slowly dive, keeping our biceps behind our ears as our forehead and knife edge of our fingers meet the mat. Your forehead is down, bicep is behind your shoulders, hips connected to your heels. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhaling fully. And on your next inhale, you will slowly come up the way you went down. And exhale, hands down to your side. Camel pose. Come up to the top of your mat, standing on your knees. You put your hands on your lower back, roll your chest out, gaze is up, and this is enough. If you have more to give the pose, tuck your toes under, reach back for your heels, one hand at a time. When you find your heels, look up to the sky, breathing deeply here, and if you have even more to give the pose, you can flatten your feet out and come all the way back, making sure your hips stay over your knees, breathing deeply. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Slowly come out of this, one hand up to your back at a time. And we'll sit back down onto our heels again. Grab the inside of your feet with your fingers, thumb on the outside of your heel into rabbit pose. And slowly arch. Bring head to knee. If your forehead touches your knees, you can raise your hips up, pulling your heels apart. Gives you a little bit more of a stretch in your lower back. Inhaling and exhaling here. Gripping onto your ankles. Very little weight in the crown of your head. And exhale, hips back to heels. Roll your chest up. Head is the last thing to come up. And we'll go into our hamstring stretching series. First, your right leg is straight, left leg bent with your left foot at your knee. Inhale, arms overhead. If you have tight hamstrings like I do, you can have your knee bent here and slowly work it down. Want to relax your head here, hinge at your hips, and breathe. I like to cross my hands, so I keep my left side down when doing this stretch. You can grab your foot however you like. Get 3 deep breaths here. And finished. Slowly inhale up. We'll switch out our legs. Left leg is straight, might be a little stiff there. Right leg bends. Get that weight out from under your sit bones. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach for your foot. Straighten out the leg as best you can. The bent knee here is fine as long as you're keeping your back as straight as you can. A slight bend in the back is okay, like a child's pose. Relax your head and neck. Breathe. Inhale, slowly come up, and we'll extend both legs out to the front of your mat. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale up, and exhale with your peace fingers. Grab your big toe, or grab all of your toes. Try to keep your back as straight as possible here. Gaze can be forward until you can straighten your back enough to bring your gaze down. Bend in the knee here is fine. Can't go down at all, you can grab onto your calves, just keeping a straight back and really releasing the hamstrings. Inhale and exhale here. Let it go. Now we will slowly inhale up, and we'll do a reverse pose here, a counter pose. It's a reverse plank. Bring your hands back behind your back. Fingers pointed towards your hips, and bring your hips and chest up to the sky. Breathe in deep here, really flex your booty to get a good reverse stretch after all those forward folds. And exhale down, Do a spinal twist here. Keep your left leg straight. Step your right foot up and over, bringing the outside part of your right foot to the outside part of your left leg. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, rotate to the right. Your right hand is directly behind your buttocks, fingers pointing away. Inhale, exhale, try to keep your spine as straight as possible. Crown of the head over the tailbone. Inhale, exhale. Looking over your right shoulder, exhale, slowly come the other direction for a counter pose. And we'll switch out our legs. Right leg goes down, left leg comes up and over. Bring it in close to your chest, left hand is behind you, right hand comes up to the sky, looking up. Exhale, twist to your left. Twisting as far back as you can, keeping your head above your hips. Shoulders in line, inhaling and exhaling. Slowly come out of that and do a quick counter pose just to even everything out. And now scoot a little forward and slowly rock back onto your back. Loosen up those back muscles that were tight from the twist. Exhale, come to our mats, grab the outside edges of your feet through the inside of your legs into happy baby. Ankles over knees, try to get your hips down to the mat, rock back side to side. And when you're ready, come into Savasana. Head to the top of your mat. Feet spread wide, relaxed and open. Hands away from the body, palms facing up. Relax your hips. Roll your shoulders down your back. Stretch your neck long. Rock your head from side to side. Find a comfortable seated position. Now we're going to spend 10 minutes in Savasana here. I'm going to turn off the lights. And I want you to breathe deeply and just let everything go. You worked hard in class today. Here's your chance to enjoy all that hard work.